Welcome to Johnny Ray's Backwoods Guns. Doing a little video tonight from a reloading channel. I'm going to develop some 300 Win Mag. Well, the only issue was I didn't have a rifle. Well, I got one now, guys. A good friend of mine brought his Falkor by. It's a shoots 300 Win Mag. It's an AR platform. This is your normal size AR. It shoots .223, and this is your giant size AR. It shoots 300 Win Mag. All right, guys, this is not a gun review on this gun. I'm just using it for a range test tomorrow. But I'll tell you a little bit about the rifle. It's got a 20-inch barrel with a 1-in-10 twist. All right, it's outfitted with a 20-power scope, a Nikon Monarch 20-power scope, which is plenty good enough for what we're going to do tomorrow. It's got a carbon fiber barrel. It's a new one. It's got the carbon fiber barrel. It's got a real big barrel break on it. So it should... This gun's advertised to shoot 1-inch groups at 400 yards. We're going to find out if it'll do it, and I'm going to try to develop the ammo that will do it. Stick around, guys. I'll show you how I planned on getting this right. Okay, guys, as always, I start my components. All right, I'm going to use these Hornady 300 Win Mag dies. And I'm going to use my RCBS seating die. Okay, I'm going to use large Magnum primers. I'm going to use H1000 powder. And I'm going to use 200 grain eld-x bullets. Not the eld match, but the eld-x. I've got my 300 Win Mag brass here. We'll get to that. All right. I go to my load. I went to my Hornady book and found my 200 grain eld bullets. I'm going to seat at 3.34. I'm going to use this H1000 powder, and I'm sliding out here. It says 76.2 grain. I'm going to use 76.0 grain. I'm going to cut off 2 grain there just for the hell of it. I think I should be real close to 2,800 feet per second. 200 grain bullet, that should do the job. All right, guys, let's get to loading. This is a Hornady shell holder, H16. All right, guys, this is a Hornady full-length sizing die. Make sure these match, Hornady, because the height in here, the thickness, everything, you want it to work right. You want to get a good sized case. So, of course, lube my brass. I run it through twice. What I also do, sometimes when I'm using a full-length sizing die, since this is going to AR, I want to make sure this is sized right. So I've got a little Hornady case gauge here, and I make sure it's in there, which it is. Okay, guys, a lot of times this will happen. Just take you some alcohol, put it on a napkin. Just clean that brass up real fast. Just wipe all the wax off of it. All the little debris, and then drop them in your sizing die, or your chamber checker, caliber checker. They just pop right down. Smooth as silk. You get wax on those when you size them, and they pick up dirt and grime from out of your die, from your hands, whatnot. If it seems to get stuck and wants to move a little bit, I just take alcohol, clean them up real fast, and then go on to the next step. So let's go to the next step, guys. All right, guys, next step is prepping your brass. I've got my brass prep machine set up here. Of course, first I'm going to trim my case. I'm going to check it. Make sure it's under 262. Supposed to be under 262 is trim length. That's about just, that'll do it. Then I chafe, deburr. Of course, clean my primer pocket. And I'll take this Lyman flash hole uniformer. I'll run it down, give it a couple twists, make sure my primer pocket is clear of any kind of obstructions. And that brass is ready to load. Let's do the next one. Same process. Trim. Now when you use 75, 76 grain of powder, you bet your ass that this brass is going to get stretched. So that's 261. As long as you're under 262, you're good. So make sure you trim your brass. Primer pocket's clean. Chafe and deburr. Make sure a flash hole is clear of obstructions. And then let's uniform the inside. That piece of brass is ready to be loaded. Last one, guys. Trim. We're at 261. As long as it's below 262, you're good. Clean my primer pocket. Clean up that mouth. Chafe, deburr. Make sure there's no media left in the flash hole, and uniform the inside of it so it's all good. So this brass is ready to be primed and loaded and charged, guys. Let's go to the next step. Okay, guys, I'm going to use these large rifle magnum primers and prime right here on my bench. Pretty simple process. Always prime on the bench. Primer looks nice, even, concave. That'll work. Go to the next one. We get it done with this, we'll go to powdering. I'm using that H1000 powder, 76 grains of it. So I like to flare all my brass, okay? Because a lot of times when I prep brass, I don't use it for 2, 3, 4 weeks. Sometimes I use it the next day, and I want to make sure if I've prepped it, it's ready for flat base bullets or boat tail bullets. And I think that when you flare, it helps center the bullet right dead center in your brass better. And of course I always crimp my brass too. Just run it up. I've got this Lee universal expander flaring die. I just put a little flare on it. That way if I change my mind a day or two later and I want to run flat base bullets instead of boat tail bullets, I'm good. Now let's move to the powdering. Okay, guys, I've already set this up through one load. .76 grain of H10 powder. If you get that straw cut right, it should throw your powder right. We'll see. I've got it back down on slow. 75.8, 0.9. That should go green. Yeah, the last 1 or 2 tenths is always like watching paint dry. Come on. That should have done it right there. Give the scale a second to stabilize. It's going to read green. Lord, that paint's drying. There we go. All right. I'm going to let that cook the next one while we're getting ready to I'm going to use this seating die, this RCBS seating die. I've already put the 30 caliber seating plug in it, and I've already put my 76. I've already put my 30 caliber bullet guide in there. You can see the it says 30 caliber right there. Make sure you get the right seating plug and the right seating guide, and we'll get to seating these bullets. Let me grab the bullets off the wall. All right, guys, I'm using these Hornady eld-x bullets, like I said. It's a 200 grain bullet, and it's for 1 in 10 twist barrels. And the rifle we're going to shoot tomorrow is a 1 in 10 twist. So these should work out real good. But like I said, it's a long bullet, but it's a boat tail. So just raise your brass up until it engages your bullet guide. Drop your bullet in, and that centers your bullet and holds it center. And then this seats it. I've already set this, but we'll check, see where we're at. We're looking for 334. 334. We're dead on. I mean, dead on balls accurate. 334. Let's see if we can get 3 in a row. Just raise it up till it engages that bullet guide. The bullet's nice and centered. Seat your bullet. Of course, three, 4. Last one. Long bullets. Three, 4. We're dead on. 33400. Holy hell. All right. Like I said, I flared those. So I like using my two rock crushers for seating, sizing and seating. And I use this little Lee for flaring and crimping. I've got a Lee factory crimp die. Of course, if you, a lot of times if I don't have the right factory crimp, Lee factory crimp, I'll just use my RCBS taper and crimp die. I won't seat with it. I just run the seating stem up and I just use it as a crimper. Crimp 1, crimp 2, crimp 3. All right, guys, that's 3. I won't bore you and let you make you watch me do the whole lot of them, but we'll maybe we'll check these. Hang on, let me check something. As I was saying, let's check something, guys. Let's check the weight and the concentracy on these. I sort my head stamps, so this weight ought to be all within 0.2 of a grain. There's 1. There's 2. They're all between 529. That was 531. This one's 529. If you make sure it's centered on the scale, you'll get a better reading. But that's what you want. Let's move over here to concentracy. I don't check this much anymore, but Hornady says if it's within 2 thousandths, then your run out's good. And that one's within 1.5. They're usually between 2.5, one way or the other. That one's about 2.5, maybe 3. So that's just right on the edge. You can correct these if you want to with this little dial, but I like watching, seeing how they are after I get done loading. If you flare all your brass and you seat all your brass or seat all your bullets with a competition seating die, and you get that bullet going straight down in the center. A lot of guys will seat their brass up there, and then they'll lay the bullet, and their bullet's flopping around, then they run it up in a ram. Those seating dies, you know, you drop it in on top, and it's holding it centered. So it just seems like it centers it better. Your run out's better. Anyway, guys, that's I'll build the rest of this ammo off camera. We'll go to the range tomorrow, and we'll see how it shoots out of this Falkor 300 Win Mag AR platform. I'll be back after the range. Thank you, guys. It's cold out here. It's about 27, 28 degrees. Loading 300 Win Mag in an AR. Gonna see what she'll do today. Got my brass catcher on. Bummy, I'm going hot.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going hot. All right, here we go. See it shake? Shoot it again.
Yeah, you can see it spray.
No. They got hardly any recoil at all. Unbelievable. Put this in my video. Shooting range. What is there? What? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 bays, something like that.
Well, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17.
There's a
17 stations here. 6 up on top of the pistol range.
100-yard gone. 200, 300. All right, guys, we're back from the range. I'm going to go over these groups real fast. I was going to shoot 4 or 5 groups, but it was just too damn cold. It got down to 26, 27 degrees when I got out there. When I left Huntington, it was at 30. When I got to Barbersville, which is about a 15-minute drive where the range is, it was around 26, 27. I about froze my ass off. So I shot a couple of fast groups. I shot some 300-yard gongs. But if we measure these, as far as I can tell, measuring from outside to outside, a lot of people tell me it's you're supposed to measure from center to center, but I'm not for sure. I'm not a F-class shooter. But that group was a 187. This group, this was a 5-shot group. This was a 6. I thought I could tighten it up. I put 4 in a cluster, and then I hit that one. It was a 1.4. This was all at 200 yards. I did some figuring. 1 MOA at 100 yards is 1.047. 1 MOA minute angle at 200 yards is 2.094. So this shot well under the 1 MOA designation for target shooting. Let's go to my brass. I took my brass catcher off right there at the end when I started fooling around, but at the beginning I used it, which makes it really handy, trying to pick out the worst ones. All I can tell is I had a little bit of the primers were flattening a little bit. I had a little smudge mark right there. The brass got chewed up just a little bit there, but this was well below max powder charge. I shot at 76 grain and max powder charge was 76.2. So I don't see any cracking, deterioration, anything. I got a few dents from my deflector from kicking it out. But other than that, I was real happy with this rifle. Okay, it's a $5,000, $6,000 rifle, but it shot as advertised, which is very rare. Most of the time they stretch it a little bit. But this 20 power scope worked for flawlessly. This Nikon Monarch, it's a hell of a scope. This 300 WinMag AR platform, I didn't have one misfeed. I didn't have one failure to eject, anything. It was just, it was a delight to shoot. Well, that's it, guys. And that's it for my range test until the weather warms up. It was just too damn cold out there. I had trouble with my target camera. I had trouble with my chronograph. And it was just too damn cold for me to fool with it. It started sprinkling a little bit. It was cold, wet, and I give up, okay? I'll go back out to the range when the weather warms up. Other than that, we'll do videos on something else. There's plenty of stuff in Reload to do videos on. If you leave me a comment on any kind of video ideals, suggestions, I'll look into it. Otherwise, you guys have a great holiday and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you on my next video. Thank you, guys. Remember to subscribe.